Hi, everybody. I'm here today with Miss Jean. How are
Hi,
you?
Fred. Hi, everybody.
How are you doing today? I'm just so excited about our interview.
Me too. I've been looking so forward to chatting with you.
Wow. I did do a little bit of research on you before and I found out so many awesome things. But we'll get to that. I was wondering if you could tell me just a little bit about yourself.
I sure could.
Awesome.
You know what, Fred? I see you have a fire hat on because you are a firefighter. Well,
And
I have many hats. I wear many hats over my life. Look at this. Many
wow.
hats. I have been a journalist. I have been a communications professional. I have been a teacher at the local school,
Wow.
and I'm a music teacher.
Amazing. That's so many cool things. Now,
It really is.
do you have one that is your favorite?
I love teaching music. I absolutely love teaching music to young children.
Yay, that's amazing. Well, we're pretty awesome, and we're so lucky to have you as a teacher. Now, I do have a couple of questions for our interview. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. So, why do you teach young kids music?
Oh, you know what, Fred? When I was a little girl, I had music lessons in a different way than I teach them now. I had music lessons where I walked over to the house of the teacher and I sat on a stool and she sat on a chair and she had me play all my scales and all my pieces. And she told me when I made mistakes and she had me write out my theory. And then I went home. And you know what? I learned about music for young children where the kids come together in a group and they play games and they learn together. And it's so much more fun and so much more effective.
It's so true. Now, I've only ever been in an MYC class, but I have heard from other people about similar experience to yours. So we try to make MYC so much fun. Now, that was great. I did find something out. You have a famous grandmother.
Yeah, that's very true. And her name is the same as my name, Jeanne Pengelly. Jean
Wow.
Pen Jean Pengelly the first was the first Canadian opera singer to sing in Carnegie Hall in New York.
Amazing.
Very true.
Wow. Okay. So, why do you think music for kids is important?
Well, I think that music for young children with young children helps develop so many things like their confidence, their self-confidence, there's problem solving abilities because you know what? There's so many times when we're learning a new instrument like the piano where we make a mistake and we have to learn from it and we learn and grow through those trials and errors, and then we can become better people, better friends, and just better in general. In school, for example, we have better attention, and I think it's just a great opportunity to instill the love of music. The other thing is that music's a lifelong gift.
It is.
So if you learn to love it when you're little, when you're an old lady like me, you're still going to love it.
That was an awesome answer. Just amazing. Now, I do have to wonder, uh, how long has your studio, or what is important about music in your community?
Oh, that's a very good question, Fred, because as you know, I teach in the Cree Nation of Mysticiny. Where is that? That is way up north in Quebec.
Wow.
And a lot of my students are Crees, and they have a rich musical heritage, a lot of drumming, a lot of singing. And some of my students actually played the drums before they came to music classes. Now they're learning the keyboard, which is a great foundation for all their musical endeavors in their life. So here in my community, music is very important. The other part of music that's important in my community is that many of the people in my community also love Christian music. And so they love to sing some of the Cree hymns and some of the non Cree hymns. And it's just a great opportunity for them to participate in church services and other musical opportunities.
Wow, that's amazing. There must be, I actually was in Brockville at the Tall Ships last weekend, and they had drumming there, and it was just awesome. If you get a chance, go and catch some drumming this year. It is just amazing to see. And everyone had such a good time. It was so cool. So now, just a couple more questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
All right. Have you had any of your students that have gone into music as an adult that you know about?
Well, that's a good question, but I'm not sure I will be able to 100% answer that because it goes back to the hats. I have worn so many hats. I've also moved around quite a bit in my life. Right now, I've been 8 years in Mysticity, but before that, I was in Peterborough, Ontario, and Vernon, British Columbia. I was all over the place.
Wow, that's amazing. And what's the most important thing about music education that you want to share?
The most important thing for me about music education is having a lifelong love of music, whether it's listening or whether it's playing. I know many, many people who love to listen to music and they put their headphones on and they can go into a world. It's like reading a book. Some people do the same with reading a book. They can go into the world. But if you play an instrument, it's a whole other level of going into the world. In my sad moments throughout my life, if I could sit at a piano and play a song, all of a sudden I had a smile.
So true. I smile every time I hear music, but it goes in different ways. Sometimes you just, even if I'm going to go play in a soccer game or a baseball game and I want to get excited, I listen to music. Or if I want to get excited about practicing music, I can listen to music or just in the
Hmm.
car, anywhere. I do like to sing. Not a lot of people know that, but I do.
No, I didn't know that, Fred. And you know what? I can just imagine you driving your fire truck down Music Street singing a song.
I do. And sometimes my critter friends join in, but Dino, he can be a little loud. Well, Miss Jean, I just want to thank you and all of your hats for being available for this interview today. It was so much fun and you're so interesting.
Aw, thank you, Fred. Thank you so much for being here to help me tell my story, and it's so good to see you.
You too. And I hope you have an awesome day and an amazing summer.
You too.
Thank you, Miss Jean. Bye.
Bye. So long.